Hello everybody, welcome to JLABTV. I'm JLAB, and this is Football Manager 2016, the Unemployment Challenge. Our first game of the month was away to Bury, and after they beat us 4-0 last time, we were looking to get revenge, and when Booty gave us the lead inside the 15th minute, I was rather delighted. Though we did have to wait an hour for our next goal, but when Wallace found Dayton, and he put it in the back of the net to make it 2-0, I realised we were getting closer and closer to potentially getting the playoffs. It was towards the end that the last goal came. It was the 92nd minute, and De Silva Lopez found Wallace, who had been involved in all 3 goals in this match, with 1 goal and 2 assists this season. And with that goal, our revenge against Bury was completed, though Bury did have some chances, they didn't take them, and we were the better team throughout this match. Now, it was just a matter of making sure that we won against Cambridge to ensure that we got into the playoffs this season. However, we didn't get off to a very good start. Just 7 minutes in, we found ourselves 1-0 down when Feliska was able to get a goal for his 10th of the season. It was only 2 minutes later that things went from bad to worse. Aluko played it in, and Hamel was able to tap in from just a few yards out. It was 2 minutes later that it was made 3-0. In 5 minutes, our season had pretty much been destroyed when Kirk managed to make it 3 in the 11th minute of the game. And to make things even worse for us, it was in the 40th minute that we went 4-0 down when Green managed to score his 8th goal of the season. We may have been dismantled, we may have been destroyed, but it still wasn't our worst defeat of the season when De Silva Lopez scored in the 89th minute of the game to give the home fans something to cheer about. In a game which we had hoped we would see ourselves become a team that would secure our place in the playoffs, saw us be absolutely dismantled inside the first 11 minutes, and in just 5 minutes our season had been ripped to shreds. Despite the fact we had 22 shots on goal, Cambridge United were just that dominant in the first half, and in the first 11 minutes, we just let ourselves down to the point that we ended up with our season no longer mattering in the end. What I find most disappointing is the fact that it wasn't the fact that we lost this match, but the fact that we only needed a single point to have secured our place in the playoffs. Because we lost by 3 goals, we would have had a goal difference of +6, and we would have been above Wrexham on goal difference. And had we done that, we would have been playing against Exeter, who we had beaten twice already this season. But that doesn't matter now. We had ensured that we would be in a good position for next year. Finishing 9th place after being predicted to be in 23rd is no small feat, so I'm very happy with how this season has gone, even if it wasn't our best season. But what made my season even more happier was the fact that Scott Wallace was given the Player of the Year award at the age of just 21, after he got 14 goals and 14 assists and an average rating of 7.28. He's had a very incredible season. I'm just hoping I'm able to ensure we keep him for after next season when his contract expires. Not a bad debut season for Scott Wallace in the Football League, is it now? I gave this kid his breakthrough, and he's repaid me with perfect grace. I'm very happy that Scott Wallace is my star player and is my best player this season. So that is the end of the season. Despite the fact we didn't get the playoffs, I'm very happy with where we finished, and the fact we got so close to being in the playoffs gives me hope for next season. What would happen if I improve the defence? But we've got some players potentially coming in. I've got a few players now hopefully able to ensure we can do well. But we want to make sure that we keep our progress going. So if we improve our defence but keep our attack, we should be challenging for not just the playoffs but also promotion. Now it's just to make sure we keep our attack solid. But this is our formation right now. And Bobby Mosley will probably not be staying here. But we have done really well for ourselves. I'm very happy with how things have gone. Liam Slade might be leaving, but we've got 2 players potentially coming in. Matthew Riley, a 20-year-old defender, I'm very happy I had brought him in on trial at the moment, but he could become our new signing at the age of 20. He's still got a lot of room to grow, potentially. And then there's Ryan Innes, who could also be joining us. And for this, to have two good players potentially joining us, well, goodish players anyway, I couldn't be more happier. But we want to make sure that we don't cause ourselves problems. And with Nathan Convery potentially signing for us at the beginning of next season, and Fred Little also potentially joining us, and Leonardo da Silva also potentially joining us at the end of the season. I think I've got a decent amount of players coming in. Regan Booty is probably the only player that's not going to be signing for us at the moment. I tried to approach him, and this is what I get. So it's slightly disappointing I can't get him right now, but if I'm able to get him after he leaves Huddersfield, I will be very happy indeed. He is one of my favourite players, it has to be said, even if he wasn't our best player at times. I gave him his debut, I'd like to help him grow even more. But anyway, I'd like to know, would you want me to do 2 straight months instead of just 1 month per video? It'd be interesting for me to know your answer to this question, because it will make the season go quicker, yes, but it will also see how far we can get into the future. This is the end of my 5th season now, and we're at the end of 2020 already. I think last year I got to 24, and I ended up finishing with Benfica, so I got 9 years, I think, or 11 seasons anyway, and we end up with Benfica. But it'll be interesting to see where we end up this season. I've stayed at every club for at least 2 years so far, and if I stay at after this season, I'll be at Macclesfield for 3 years and over 1,000 days in charge. And this is how we're doing so far. We've only won 100 matches and 227 matches, but considering that most of those were at Lowestoft, 50 games here in 103 games at Macclesfield, and 50 games at 124 at Lowestoft, I think I've got a very good record considering. But yeah, balance is good, and we're doing well. But anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Hope you like and favourite this video. It really helped me a lot. So anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.